To East Africa, where Uganda goes to the polls next week, the hotly contested vote sees opposition leader Bobi Wine say the violent presidential election campaign is like a war and a battlefield. Wine was detained for a third time in 2 months on Wednesday. SABC correspondent in Uganda, Hillary Ayesiga, joins us now. A very good evening to you, Hillary. So let's first start with incumbency of President Yoweri Museveni. He came into power in 1986, and many people have seen him as desperate to hold on to power. Is this what the main thrust of the political tensions and violence are?
Yeah, President Museveni says he wants to secure, after 35 years, President Museveni says he wants to secure the future of Uganda. And I think that is the main thrust of the issue, where we have the young people like the musician Bobi Wine coming in saying it is time up. We need to have a transition. We need to have a change. We need to have another president. That's what is happening, where we have the young people now agitating for change, and where we have the president saying he still wants to secure the future of this country. I think that's what is creating that tension.
Henry, it's been said that the campaign has been the worst that Uganda has seen in decades. The figures that have been put of people shot dead already by security forces allegedly over 2 days of protests is 50. And that, of course, followed Wine's arrest in November. We've seen violent pictures of that. Just how bad is it? Are those figures accurate?
To take you back in November, last year, Bobi Wine was arrested in eastern Uganda for flouting COVID-19 regulations. And since then, we have had the Electoral Commission, the Uganda's Electoral Commission, which issued guidelines. And these guidelines are in such a way that a candidate is supposed to address 200 people. And that has been the bone of contention between the opposition, where Bobi Wine belongs, and the enforcement agencies. And to give you the accuracy of that figure is that during that arrest of Bobi Wine, which sparked the protest, over 50 people died in that protest, and it was confirmed by the president himself, saying over 50 people died. And that is the violence, the spiral violence, which has been going on. And we have seen this has been mainly on the opposition part, where their campaign rallies have been disrupted by the enforcement agencies, saying that they are flouting COVID-19 regulations, they are attracting massive numbers, and this could spread COVID-19. So that has been the clash which has been going on. And this has been, as you say, one of the violent elections, I would say, in this country, where we have seen people being killed or dying of bullet wounds. As the president said, some of them were the bullets that caught up with them were not intended, and he was also offering to compensate those who died accidentally during the protests.
So just tell us about the conditions leading up to the elections and whether or not there'll be electoral monitoring or observation. Amnesty International has said this COVID-19 regulations are being used as a pretext for political repression. So is there any independent monitor observer that is able to say, other than Amnesty, whether there is legitimate reasons for what law enforcement is doing, or whether people are trying to exercise their democratic rights?
Well, we haven't yet got that independent monitor saying so, but what we know is that this COVID-19, the numbers definitely have been going up, and there has been that concern from all quarters, and saying that it is being used as a pretext for oppression. That I may not say, but what we see is that both camps, like we say, when they go out and there are these massive crowds coming to attend to the rallies, they have also been on the incumbent side, where we have seen massive people coming out. And this is something, I think, which was needed to be considered at a certain stage, to see that it's not something which should have happened. It's something which should have been controlled.
Okay, final question, Hillary. We know Bobi Wine at some point claimed that his bodyguard was killed while they were trying to assist an injured journalist. What is the plight of journalists in Uganda in trying to capture all of this?
Right now, the journalists, these we have had, there are a number of categories. Journalists, there have been a bit of censorship, especially those who have been on the campaign trail of Bobi Wine. There has been a bit of a tight for the security, trying to vet, trying to see those who are doing the actual journalism. Some of them, the journalists, have been injured on the campaign trail. That is a fact. And what we are seeing is that security agencies are saying at a certain time that journalists have gone out of being real journalists. They are now activists. And that has been a bit of contention. And we have seen journalists getting into that crossfire where they are trying to pass on the message, where they are trying to do their journalistic work to deliver the information to the public, and they are caught up between that crossfire of where we have a candidate and where we have the law enforcement agencies saying you are not doing the right thing, you are doing the other thing. So there is that bit of no clarity line, that there is a thin line which needs to be worked on there.
Well, thanks for that, Hillary. Hoping that you and our fellow compatriots stay safe while doing your job. SABC correspondent in Uganda, speaking to us from Kampala, Hillary Ayesiga. Still in the east of Africa, schools in Kenya reopened on Monday after a night